Only one heartbeat on one monitor. Changing the fate of an entire hospital. To Chief Nurse Clara Evans, keep it up. The life of a person who has been seriously injured, an unknown John Doe, was not an option. It was an oath, but when the hospital left politics conflicts with morality, the plate paper was removed. Along with security. As accountability of those to whom promises are made save lives. Administrators thought so. The problem is solved. Silence. The silence has returned. That silence was interrupted for 3 days. Later, when the black government convoy was SUVs have gone beyond this, the gulf of apocalypse, and the war-torn retired Special Forces commander with a scary question. Bringing hospital management to the right place knees. The rain in Seattle didn't wash them off. Things are clean. I only made neon. Lights from the Mercy Emergency Center. The General Hospital is turning into darkness. Blood red and warning yellow. It was 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Relocating cemeteries in name and spirit. Clara Evans has a collar. Her cleaning clothes were blue, regular. Problem. But tonight they felt it was hard. He had been on his feet for 14 hours. Her feet touching her old sneakers, but her eyes are sharp, hazel, and without a moment's pause, he scanned the air intake panel. Clara was not just a nurse. At the age of 32, he was the backbone of Mercy General. Level 1 Trauma Center. She knows. The melody of life and death is better than that. She knows her heartbeat. Coffee, Clara. She turned to look at the new nurse. Toby grabbed some warm polystyrene cup. Toby had finished breastfeeding. School, still optimistic, still unstable when the codes arrived. Thank you, Toby. Clara said and took a sip. It tasted good. It was like burnt toast, but with caffeine. Important. So far a quiet night. This I'm worried. Maybe the city is asleep, Toby smiled and suggested. The city, Toby, he never sleeps. He fills up again. Like Q, red hotline for a disaster. The table rang. The sound echoed through the table. A low voice, like a knife, coming from the emergency room. Clara, she spilled the coffee, her behavior leave the tired coworker immediately. For the field general. Receptionist. Mercy General. Evans speaking. The voice on the other end said, shaking. Arrival time is 2 minutes. A 35-year-old man, no identification document. Severe shockwave damage, multiple. He was wounded by a bullet fired by GSW. He was left at the door. Outside the fire station. He's writing code. Clara said in her own voice, they've turned it upside down. Calm. Prepare for the horror. She hung up the phone. And he shouted orders. Toby, get out of here. Car. Dr. Trent, we are in a critical situation. Introduction. Unstable GSO. Dr. Nathaniel Trent looked up from his tablet. Leaning on the table, browsing application from real estate. Trent, a good-looking doctor, but the brochure disappeared when the truth disappeared. The work began. He was a grandson. Counsel, mentioned in the said fact at least twice a shift. GSW. Maybe once. A gang member abandoned by his friends, Trent. He was breathing heavily, not moving much. Calm him down. If he doesn't do it, send him to the district. Insurance, Clara. I won't spend my money. He takes pills at night. Businessman. He is a man, a doctor, Clara. It's cracked, it's already heading towards the shore. Doors. Dying. Ambulance seat. The doors opened quickly, and a strong wind blew. Cold rain and the smell of oil. The paramedics took the baby, it was theirs. Cruel faces. The man on the stretcher. The ruins were covered in mud. Blood, torn clothes. But also Clara saw something underground. Unusual. He wasn't wearing street clothes. Clothing. He was wearing tactical pants, the type purchased with military profit stores, but of high quality. And his boots, heavy, old, professional. The doctor lost his pulse twice on the way. He screamed. We took him back, but he was wire. Now take it to a horrible situation, Clara ordered. She looked. Gurney train, start the compressors as they ran. Under her arm, the man, his chest looked like a hut with broken ribs. She looked at his face. It was swollen, unknowable, he was covered in bushy beard and dried blood. They quickly entered the horrible room. Clara moved like lightning and was caught. On the information, checking the lines. Where is the doctor? Trent. Clara shouted, her eyes wide. On the monitor. Heart rate. Irregular. Ventricular tachycardia. It is. I'm getting arrested again. I'm here. Here. Trent entered and pointed. Latex gloves cause painful loss of consciousness. Keep your voice down, Nurse Evans. He needs it. There's a chest tube now, said Clara, ignore the sound. Breathing sounds. It's gone on the right. Guess what? Before you start investigating. Trent. He joked. He listened to the box for a while. Half a second. Okay. Tension pneumothorax. It's ready for the pipe. Just like Trent chose. On the scalp, the emergency room doors opened in rapid succession. Again. But this time there was no doctor. The administrator was Patricia Gower, 2 security guards and a shocked young man wearing a silk jacket to package. Patricia Gower. There was a woman who looked like she was having surgeries. Patients, like spreadsheets, profit. Black, losing its red color. Dr. Trent, Patricia was hiding. Stop what you're doing. Trent stopped. The scalp is a centimeter away. The dead man's chest. Patricia, I'm in. In the process of working. We have a code. VIP, Patricia announced, signaling to them. The young man dressed in silk. This Ethan Caldwell. He's dead, you see. The biggest donor is Senator Caldwell. Ethan injured his wrist while playing tennis in the club, and he is seriously involved. Pain requires immediate attention. Clara froze. She looked at the dead. The man is on the table, blood pressure falling, oxygen saturation at 75%. Then the corrupted man who wielded the power. I knocked on the door. Clara, you must be kidding. He whispered. Dar. Trent, Patricia said, walking in the pure field within. The senator is on the phone. I want the best doctor who can treat me. Now look at the boy. Trent John looked at Don. Table, dirty, bloody, probably in trouble. Then he looked at Patricia and he promised political favors. He failed. Scalpel in the back seat. Nurse Evans, Trent said, and she gloves. Finish this off by calming down. I will take care of Mr. Caldwell. Clara felt a cold rage well up inside her stomach. You can't go. This man collapsed, lung and internal bleeding. If you leave, he will die. He is Jan Dews. Or Clara, Trent said contemptuously. Maybe a homeless vet or an addict. The protocol dictates that we prioritize separation. Mr. Caldwell is a priority. Heart rate. Coercion is not for the benefit of a dead person. Clara shouted and intervened. To Trent. This is betrayal. It is an abuse of power. Patricia Gower kept her face forward. Wrinkle to the nose. Administrative order, Nurse Evans. Transferred. You will either step aside or regret it. The monitor after Clara started it makes a flat sound. John Doe, his heart stopped. Clara looked up. She looked at the flat line. She looked at Trent, to the left. Patricia looked at her. No, said Clara. I'm sorry. Me. Patricia closed her eyes. Clara held her. The skull where Trent fell, I said. No. The silence in trauma 1 was even heavier. As a major advance in radiology. The sound of the flat line, the monitor seemed to hesitate. What are you doing? What are you doing? Patricia Gower, she whistled, her voice dropping to 1 dangerous octave. Clara ignored it. She didn't see the manager. She didn't look at the timid doctor. Attracting to VIP. All the world draws near to the one who is about to die. Table. Toby. Clara shouted. The young nurse jumped up. Take control. Compressions. Don't stop until I say so. You. Dr. Trent left, Toby. His eyes widened in fear. I don't care if the Pope leaves. Squeeze. Toby climbed onto the chair and started the chair. The man's chest. Clara. Take a bottle of betadine and spray it. She placed it on the man's ribs. She knew it was they crossed the line. The nurses didn't play. Surgical procedures. This was golden. Okay. If you were to cut this person off, it would be her. She finished her career. But if she doesn't, his life will end. There was no choice. Safety. Patricia, get out. She's attacking, he shouted. Patient. 2 sturdy guards walked up. Future, uncertain. They knew Clara. Cookies baked for dinner shifts. The faith. Don't touch it. Clara warned, extending her hand. Lifting the skull, her eyes the cruelty that made the guard stand still. If you stop me, this person will die, I will die too. Check every news station in Seattle. Know that the General of Mercy allows a person to die. For tennis injuries. Do you like it? What about your conscience? The guards looked at Patricia, then turned back again. For a dead person. They didn't move. Clara turned to the patient. Find the intercostal space, the 4th rib, the middle line of the arm. As the trauma nurse was broad. And that was true. I have seen this procedure 1,000 times. She was breathed. She was cut. She was bleeding. A whistling sound, followed by a gust of wind. Release of tension pneumothorax. The man's chest was heaving. We have kick. Toby shouted and ran towards him. Monitor. Sinus access. Returned. Clara, she didn't celebrate. She held a coffin. A set of pipes that reinforced the plastic pipe cut what he just did, which proves that. Tape it up. The person's oxygen level. It started to go up. 80%, 85%, 90%. He took a stethoscope and listened. The sound of breathing could be heard. He was breathing. He leaned towards her and whispered. Even though he is unconscious. You won't die alone tonight. No. On my watch. She looked at the ball of her eyes. They were slow, but responsive. Just like her. She moved her hand to check her foreline. His hand on his neck. She saw dust and beard, she saw tattoos. Below the ear. There was no group. Symbol. This was a small black trident with it. Wings. She didn't recognize the sign, but she let him in. Nurse Evans. His voice was cold. Clara stood up straight. The patient is stable, critical, but calm. She returned. Patricia. Gower was shaking with anger. Dr. Trent. He turned away, looking pale. I am ashamed, but mostly with a vengeance. Unauthorized operation performed, Trent. He said, shaking and pointing his finger. You are not a surgeon. This is an attack. And a battery. I saved his life because you were too busy kissing the donor. Clara turned around and took it out. She threw her bloody gloves inside. You are the one who slaps the trash can with a wet slap. We're done, Patricia said in her voice. It's very quiet now. Come out. It must be him. Clara said they were transferred to the intensive care unit. Her husband stopped. Injuries that require scanning. We treat them. Trent was joking. He is no longer an employee of this hospital. Security, Patricia ordered again. Please escort Miss Evans from the premises. Immediately. If she refuses, call her. Police. Clara looked at Toby. The young nurse called out quietly. Look. Toby, that, she said in a soft voice. Don't let him do this. They're killing him. I'm killing him, Toby said. Clara left. As you drive past Dr. Trent, she stood. She was 1.75 meters tall and he was 1.98 meters tall. But she was angry with him at that moment. Nathaniel, you have made an oath. Do no harm. You're done for tonight. Get out, Trent. He shouted, his face turning red. Clara. She didn't look back. Through the trauma room, through the crowded emergency room, as patients look on with swollen eyes, and outside in the cold and rain at night, she sat on the sidewalk. The parking lot, the rain covering her clothes with jackets immediately. She trembled. The adrenaline has gone and gone. An empty pit of fear. She disappeared. Her career, her retirement, and perhaps will. She was 32 years old, single and broke. But when you look up into the brightness emergency room sign, she thought. The air that flowed into the guest house lungs, she thought about the heartbeat. The monitor. It's worth it, she whispered. In the rain. You didn't know it from the inside. Toby was pushing John in the hospital. Go to the elevator and to the man. Her hand was shaking. She didn't know that. The person she saved was not a homeless person. Traveler. And you certainly didn't know. It's just that she survived. Captain Elias Miller, Jr., the brother of one of the most dangerous people in the world, U.S. Special Forces. 3 days later, Clara. It was a mixture of boring, cheap things. Summer, crying on her couch and ignoring her. Phone call. The nursing board has I already received it via email. Investigation. He was waiting. Mercy General squeezed. To completely revoke the license, citing gross negligence and malpractice. It was an unlicensed drug. In the blacklist. She applied for 3 emergency cases. Care clinics. All 3 rejected it. In a few hours. Patricia Gower completely. She just didn't shoot. Clara. She has salted the earth. There are general things in mercy. They have returned to the toxic normal state. Dr. Trent, how is it going around and bragging? He met the rogue nurse. The VIP character, Ethan Caldwell, is undergoing treatment. Sprained ankle with regular care reserved for the royal family and exiled with a prescription for strong painkillers. There was no need. John Doe, Captain Elijah Miller, moved to one semi-private room on the 4th floor. He was still in a coma and was recovering from a terrible situation, because he had no identification documents. When he arrived, Clara also there was a shooting before her. Properly tattooed, it easily holds up as a standard. John Doe, poor man. Patricia Gower, minimal care is recommended. Keep it alive, but don't waste your wealth, she said. The nurses on the floor. As soon as he woke up, they sent him to a government institution. They didn't know who it was. They didn't know that the military beacon is engraved in it. Mayor is trapped in a trap. They almost killed him and his team. Tracking sign. But in the morning on the 4th day, the signal light came on. Come back to life. There is something coded. Pinging to a satellite orbiting over 200 meters Earth. That satellite has joints with a reliable operating base in Virginia, then sent a code currently on red alert for tactical team. San Diego Gas. Major Jackson Miller was busy with summary work. When the communications room is ringing. To the device, to the face, to the guide, wounds and stoicism, for the faint-hearted. For the first time in 10 years. My lord, the lieutenant asked. They found it, Jackson said. He said, in a low voice like a scream. Millstones. They found Elijah. He's in Seattle. Is he alive? The signal is weak. He's motionless. He's in the hospital. Jackson. He got up and turned the table upside down. Hurry up. Get the birds ready. We're flying now. Return to Mercy, General. Morning shift. Patricia Gower started with when the emergency room receptionist scolds someone, error handling for filing. Automatic doors open with a slide. Usually doors for patients, families, or paramedics. At this point, 6 people walked away. They didn't walk like civilians. They moved in a phalanx, in a V-shape. They were wearing black tactical clothing, no police uniforms, as well as high-end military uniforms, unmarked combat weapons. They showed mercy to the killer. This caused the air in the room to cool by 10 degrees. At the top of the 5th Division was Major Jackson Miller. He was 198 meters tall and easily muscled. Purpose. He was also wearing dark sunglasses. A beret tucked inside and in the arm's epaulette. The jaw is placed on such a line. Strong, can cut glass. Hospital security guard, retired police officer Barney, take a step forward. Sorry, gentlemen, you cannot enter here. Even Jackson didn't slow down. He just. The man passed Barney as if he were a man. Spirit. One of the people behind Jackson. Barney gently but firmly pushed him aside. A hand that looks like a metal rod. The failed attempt was stopped by the central counter. The entire emergency room is silent. The doctor's patient stopped ordering. He groaned. Everyone looked into the darkness. The giant standing in the middle room. Patricia Gower raised her head in frustration. She adjusted her glasses. Can I help you? You. This is a hospital, not a parade. Ground. You are blocking the passage. Jackson Miller took off his sunglasses. His eyes were ice blue and burned with fire. Terrible strength. It has its own strength. My hands on the table. I'm looking. My brother, Jackson said. His voice. It wasn't heavy, but it was carried on the back. The part of the room. Captain Elias Miller, the tracking symbol is placed in this, Patricia noticed. But we didn't. One in that name. Even if we do it, patient privacy laws. I don't care. He interrupted Jackson. He is. We've missed a step. We've followed up here. He has a triangle-shaped tattoo on his neck. Patricia stopped. She remembered. John Doe's report, the needy, oh, she said, pursed her lips. Little John Doe, Charity Jackson's fingers turned white. Host. Kindness. He entered. Days ago. No ID. We are keeping it. Patricia, living with hospital expenses, he said he was trying to regain his power. Up. You can take it. It will save you. In the budget. Jackson gave the signal. Men. Both of you secure the area around him. Go up, both of you, and look for Elijah. Doctor, go with them. As the group moves. Right in Jackson, he looked at the counter. Patricia. There was something wrong. He knew it. The extent of Elijah's injury is reported to the field injured before arrival. It's gone. It must be Elijah. He died. Someone performed a miracle. To stay alive for 3 days. Who? Did you treat him? Jackson asked. Dr. Trent. He was the participant, Patricia said. He pointed at Nathaniel, and he staggered. Behind the computer screen. Jackson, he looked at Trent. He saw soft hands, nervous sweat, expensive watch. He knew people like that. They didn't escape. People like Elijah. You, Jackson asked. Trent. You calmed the tension. Pneumonia and the repair of the fractured man, a subclavian artery in a traumatic location. He's under surveillance, Trent stammered. Jackson, he narrowed his eyes. He leaned in. My doctor looked at the cards when I got home. The notes show that the first process took place in 1991. Field thoracostomy in scalpel, not a standard set. The medicine of war. Perseverance. Jackson. He looked around the room. He saw. Nurses look down, move. Unpleasant. He saw how they did it. Trent looked at her with disdain. But you didn't. Jackson said, he wasn't. Question, where is the man? Did he really save her? Patricia was very happy. This is useless. The worker, the question is closed for disobedience. The heir who was in the room disappeared. Jackson, he slowly rose to his full height. Fund. Patricia, she did not obey direct orders. She is on the defensive. She has prioritized it. A guest who doesn't pay for a VIP gift. It was carelessness. She's not here now. Jackson's face didn't change, but the temperature in the room looks like this frost. They kicked out the man who saved us. My brother. Because she saved him. Break the protocol, Patricia shouted. Jackson came back from the room. What was that? Your name. Silence. I said, Jackson shouted, the sound shakes the walls. What is it? His name. Standing on the corner was young Toby. Up. His hands were shaking, but he spoke. Obviously. Her name is Clara, Toby. There's Clara Evans, and she's the best. This hospital still had nurses. Jackson, I looked at Toby, then at Patricia. He put his sunglasses back on. Where? Is Clara Evans alive? Studio apartment in Rhine Valley, real estate agent neighborhood. It is described as progress in humility, and everyone else called him tough. This was the only place she had the capacity. A nurse's salary while paying her own salary student loans. Now without a salary and even this shoebox, which has ruined the reputation, it almost slipped through his fingers. The rain was beating down on her. Single window. Merciless drame measure associated with a throbbing headache. She held him for 72 hours. Clara sat on the ground, surrounded. A cardboard box. She wasn't just fired. Deleted. Her email has been deleted. The landlord came an hour ago. Because latest announcement about you dismissal and possible crimes, we will make accusations. We will write the article in your rental agreement to terminate the contract. Patricia Gower did not fire him. He published the story on a local blog structure. Clara as the unstable nurse, she attacked the doctor. The main topic about her, the phone screen looked up. Death, nurse fired after attack a surgeon at a trauma hospital. Clara was selected. A roll of duct tape in her hands, it is usually strong enough to wrap around the needle. He trembled, trembling, in a vein that was collapsing. She ripped a tape, and the sound loud and obnoxious in a quiet room. Knock, knock. It wasn't a polite knock. There were 3 highly controlled dimes. A knock that demands an answer. Clara froze. She looked out the door. Who is it? She called in her own voice. Crack. Expression, deep voice. She screamed. It was a lie. Clara knew it. She lied when she heard one. Enough of the patients who try hide the overdose. Leave it on the carpet, he said, standing and holding the only one, the weapon he had, a heavy brass lamp. I can't do this, Mrs. Evans, her voice said. Please open the door. But I won't. I want to break it. He was polite, but the threat behind it was absolute. Clara's heart was beating violently against her ribs. Did Patricia call the police? This is the moment she was dragged away. Handcuffs for assault. She gave breath, she opened the dead. He locked the door and opened the third one, while he was holding it. The chain was closed. A police officer was waiting. Officer. She was waiting for a process representative. She didn't expect a wall from a man. The water filled the entire door frame. Dripping from the black-tipped tactical belly. Behind him, 2 other people. He was standing in the shadows of the corridor, awareness of their position and appearance steps. Major Jackson Miller observed. He went down to her. He was close. Scary. A mark appeared on his left hand. He covered his eyebrows, and his jaw was the thick straw of the day. But it was his eyes made Clara stop cold. They had the same shape as the person she loved. Clara Evans. Jackson. Clara asked. Who knows? Hold the door frame. If you are Your Honor, you can tell your lawyers. To talk to my public defender. I have nothing to tell you. I am not one of them. Jackson said he was in the hospital. The jacket. Clara pulled it back. Jackson moved slowly and pulled. Photo. Place it next to the crack. On the door. There was a photograph of 2 people. Smiling on a ship in a white suit. It was Jackson. The other was John Doe. Jackson said, a few days ago, a mental breakdown. Clara was depressed. The little lighthouse. The ship John Doe. Captain my brother Elijah Miller. Jackson the wavelength of a photon. Clara, have fun. We need to talk. Clara hesitated, then the chain was released. If these people he wanted to hurt him, a copper chain. I didn't stop them. She opened the door wide. "Is he alive?" she said, hearing her voice. Relief. "I was worried." "He wouldn't tell me anything," Jackson said. He entered, wearing his heavy shoes. Cheap laminate flooring. The two people in the back. He stood in the hallway and turned them around. I went back to guard the door. The apartment. He suddenly felt very small. While alive, Jackson looked around and said, "Packing boxes." "Occasionally, but not that." "Do good." "What do you mean?" Clara's. The feeling of nursing overcame her fear. "Is it him?" "Septic." "Did the chest tube leak?" "That's what I said." Therefore, they should treat subcutaneous emphysema with caution. He was physically stable, but alert. "An hour ago," Jackson said, "he left." He made his hat swing in his hand. "He is very happy. He fights anxiety. I know where he is." He doesn't believe it. Doctors, a resident's arm was broken. He tried to change the intravenous needle. Clara left. Small, involuntary breathing. "He," asked the voice, Jackson said. Looking at him closely, he says, "I remember a voice in the dark. Woman." He said he wouldn't die alone. He doesn't let anyone else get close to him. He Clara, draw the lines. If he gone voort, hij gaan je bloei. Clara looked down at her hands. "I can't help you. I'm not a nurse anymore. They have revoked my rights. If I take one step. When I step foot in that hospital, I'm going to be arrested. To violate." Jackson approached him. He stood over him. "She." But for the first time his expression changed. He didn't regret it. It was full of respect. "I've seen the security footage," Jackson said. He said in a low voice. "I saw you jump on him. Gurney. I saw you putting in a scalpel. While my brother's chest is trembling, the lab coat flew off." Clara looked. "My tears are flowing upwards. I just did it. My job." "You have done more than your job. You, as Jackson said, I went to war for that. Now do you have to do it again?" "I can't," Clara whispered. "Patricia Gower, he has destroyed me. I have nothing left." Jackson looked at the resignation notice. On a box. He took it and read it, and he squeezed it with his fist. "Do you think so? Patricia Gower, can I do it?" "Jackson," he asked, the black color of happiness. "Kana, you don't know what power is, Clara." Patricia Gower, bureaucrat. "I am the 1st Special Forces Operation Separation. I am responsible to the President. And God, and sometimes I do. The President is waiting." He threw away the wrinkled one. "Paper in the corner. Fill the bag." Jackson ordered. "Not to evict, but to work. You will come with us." "But police." "Should I worry about the police?" Jackson said, "Let me worry. Hospital. Your job is only to keep Elias safe. Can you do it?" Clara looked at him. "To the boxes." She looked at her empty boxes. "Apartment." Then she looked. Commitment in Jackson's eyes. The spark in her breast felt again. The same spark that made him catch it 3 days ago, scapula. "Give me 5 minutes," she said. Jackson nodded. "We will be. Stay in the SUV." Clara followed. To splash cold water in the bathroom, he tied her face and hair back. I heard Jackson speak in his own voice. "Wristband. Base, ogre disc. Bait okay. We're going to Grace. General. Tell us the nature of the chaos." Stop and tell the buyer to call. Hospital board. I want Gower. The license was revoked until my wheels touched. Clara caught him. Her grandmother's stethoscope, they gave it to her when she graduated in nursing school. She put it on her neck. I felt like I was wearing armor. Out the door, packing the boxes behind. A journey to mercy. The general was calm and quick. The SUV moved through traffic like a shark. From the fishing team. Other cars, I'm out of the way now. Clara. He sat in the back seat next to Jackson. Forcefully loaded into a powerful disk tablet. Status update. Jackson's hot blab laugh without looking up. The subject is still standing. A position in section 402. Manager registered. Hospital safety, he is trying to log in. He is blocked. The door has a bed. If they break, he's going to kill them, Jackson said calmly. Elijah was confused and threatened. The level is called at level 11. Go ahead. When you arrive at the emergency room, the bay, the place was in chaos. The police car, the lights were flashing, blue and red. Reflected on the wet road. News, the team van was busy preparing. Stomach ache. There are police. By mouth. As Jackson said, they are not for you. They are here because my team is stuck. 4th floor. The SUV screeched to a halt. Jackson, the door was open in front of the vehicle. He stopped completely. He held out his hand. Clara. Stay with me. Don't stop. Go away. Don't answer the questions. Clara took his hand. It was rough and very hot. He took off her clothes and suddenly they were moving. 4 phalanxes. The soldiers surrounded them and a moving human iron wall. They swept it away. Through automatic doors. It was full of screaming people. Patricia Gower in the middle of the room, yelling at a police officer. Sergeant, I want those people to go. It is a private institution. You are allowed terrorists to be floor hostages. Patricia shouted. Mom, that's what they did. Federal testimony. The sergeant tried to explain. Patricia looked around and saw Jackson. Then she saw Clara. Her eyes she opened up and her face turned into one. She has a clean poison mask. A finger tied with a scythe. You, Patricia shouted. Police, arrest him. It's the woman. She's committing a violation. She is the one who started it all. The police sergeant looked at Clara and said, then to the huge soldiers around him she took a step back. Patricia, they ran forward and blocked their path. Clara, you're not going anywhere. Evans. I'll keep you in the room. Tonight. You are a disgrace to this career. Jackson stood. The whole phalanx stopped. He looked down. Patricia has a full sense of humor. Boredom. Miss Gower, Jackson, you. Intervention in the Federal Army surgery. This is my hospital, Patricia. He shouted and stamped his foot. She a fired employee. She is a civilian. United States advisor military, Jackson fixed it without any problems. And not since 5 minutes ago. Your hospital. Patricia closed her eyes. What? Check your email, Jackson said, shaking his head. The tablet Patricia was holding in her hand. Her hands were shaking as she looked down. She opened her screen. The subject line, her face is empty of everything. The color was sent from the chairman. Edge. Subject, emergency suspension pending examination body. Due to serious criminal charges, neglect on a high-priority issue, patient, and non-compliance with the examination protocols. It can't be, Patricia. Hey, Dr. Trent. Dr. Trent. Jackson left. Corner. 2 military police officers. Currently reading Nathaniel Trent, the doctor shouted. He asks them to call his uncle. Dr. Trent was accused of falsifying medical records. He performed the life-saving procedure on my brother. We found it digitally. Timestamps. It's a scam. And from me. My brother is a federal officer, this federal crime. Jackson leaned forward, lowered his voice, and looked at Patricia, and a lonely whisper, Clara could hear you. You choose one. The donor's child has a twisted ankle. The handsome captain who took 3 shots for this place. You shot alone. A person with the moral courage to save, that's it. You didn't just lose your job, honey. Gower. You finished your work. Jackson. He signaled to the men, move. They passed by in a quiet place in shock. Patricia Gower. Clara has strengthened her development. Adrenaline. She lifted her head. I passed by the nurse's station, and there her former colleagues also followed her. He lowered his mouth. Toby, the young nurse, she gave her a little thumbs-up sign behind her back. Map. They reached the elevator, and he silently took her to the 4th floor. When the doors opened, the tension. Vulnerable. The passage is in hospital furniture. Jackson's 2 men standing guard with a gun in his hand about their breasts. Report. Jackson. He said, he's there, boss. He said. Scalpel. Probably stolen from Trey. As he says, the next person to enter, he put it on his neck. Jackson went to Clara. It doesn't hurt me, but it doesn't hurt me. I need to cure him. He needs an intravenous injection. Wound healing and what is needed, check. It's delicious. I can do it, Clara said. Her fear disappeared. It was a job. It was something she was born into. To do. Go, said Jackson. We'll stay here. Clara approached the obstacle. She didn't scream. She didn't try to force it open. She knocked gently. Captain Miller, she called in a soft voice. In the room, the sound of a heavy creature. Who is it? A cracking sound. It sounds like gravel. This is Clara, he shouted from under the tires. I was there when you came in, she said. In the rain. I told you I wouldn't let it. You will die alone. A long silence. Then the sound of the bed moving is the floor. The door opened with a sound. Elias Miller seems worse than him. Emergency, mainly because he was awake and he was very angry. His eyes were wild, red, and alive. He has a little surgical knife with a white-wrapped handle. He was wearing a hospital uniform. Torn on the shoulder, which the fresh and sharp stitches that Clara has placed there. He looked. He scanned it. Her face, her eyes, her hands. It fell. Blade. It's you, he whispered. He leaning against the door frame, his a sudden force emanating from him. You are the one who disobeyed the order. Don't follow the orders people give you. She was killed, Clara said, stepping forward. She caught him while he was swinging. She supports half the amount, but take him to bed. Now, would you let me fix this for or not? Will you take away all my beauty? Elijah has dry, itchy skin. Laughing, he sat on the edge of the bed. It's okay. You're a dictator. I'm the head nurse, said Clara. Help him, her to lift her legs. Mattress. wholly as part of the uniform. She quickly admired him. His heart beat. He was high into the sky, his skin was wet. Dryness and pain. She took a new set of veins from the cart. In the room. Her hands moved with him. Demonstrating effectiveness in practice, finding the right path, inserting the catheter, securing it line. Saline bolus injector and mild sedation. Elijah watched him all day. Tin was not a hunter like the people he was. In the lawyer, or as contemptuous as doctors. Powerful, analytical, and they are incredibly vulnerable. They have you. He was gone, Elijah muttered, his eyes wide. When the drug wears off, it starts to get confusing. The system. Wool. The woman. You said. I was gone. I'm back, said Clara. Adjusting the sheet on top of it. Jackson. Elijah asked, looking outside the door. The guard outside the door. Elijah shook his head, he closed his eyes. Okay. It scares them. He scares me a little too, Clara. It is allowed. Elias smiled. One spirit. He smiles at his chin. You love him. I know. I brought you back. Go to sleep, Captain, Clara. Elias, no. Edited, the sound faded to one. In a whisper. Call me, Elias. Clara stayed there. Just a moment, listened to the sound of the display, a steady and strong beat. It was the best. A beautiful voice he had never heard before. The door opened quietly behind her. Jackson intervened. He walked over to him. Sleeping brother, then to Clara. Without giving a new 4 injection, vital organs will stabilize. Hello in the room. How are you, Jackson? Clara said, checking the drop size once. Last time. I know. Patricia Gower, go, Jackson said as he stood beside her. The council called an extraordinary meeting. They want to present your work. He returned, demanding a pay raise and an official apology. Clara looked at Elijah, who was sleeping. I wondered what the hospital was like. She threw it away. She thought about Trent. Patricia's arrogance and cruelty. I don't want it, said Clara. Jackson raised eyebrow. No. Clara. He turned around and turned his face away. Mercy General, I have finished my business. He wants to save lives, not profit. Okay, Jackson said with a slow smile on his face. This has touched everyone. Character, which is like War Machine and more like a man plan. Because I have another offer. For you. What kind of discount? The Army has its own hospital. Contractors, specialized care for the elderly, precious resources, people who can manage them, stress, who can make tough decisions, and who I'm not interested in politics. Jackson, she gave me a card. It was black and the golden trident emblem. The payout is 3-fold. What are you doing here? The schedule is worse. The places are dangerous, but I never have to answer to a bureaucrat. Again. Answer me. Clara took it. The card. She ran her thumb over it. The logo is printed. When should I start? He asked. You already did it, Jackson said. Welcome to the room, Nurse Evans. It has been 3 weeks since the incident took place in 2011. Mercy General. By Clara Evans 9th. As if he had lived in it for 10 years. Time. She was no longer in Seattle. It was dark in the forest, and a radar station on the rocks. Jackson on the coast of Washington. The room turned into a black mirror. Safe house. The wind here was strong, the smell of salt and pine, a sharp smell contrary to the smell of pesticides. Clara controlled the flow process. Portable oxygen concentrator. Oxygen. The saturation level in the room is 98%. They gave an announcement and marked the card on it. Tablet. Heal faster than any other tablet. The man has the right to do this, Elias. Captain Elijah Miller sat on the edge of the hut, shirtless. His body was a map. Violence, pale yellow wounds, chest costomy symbol red line. Clara saved him and the scars of a lifetime gone by shadow. He bent his right arm. It's a little dark. It's getting dark. Elijah groaned and grabbed his shirt. Army rations don't taste like yours. Lasagna. Clara smiled and felt like she knew her. She hovers over her chest, closely interacting with her. Miller Brothers' apartments and their team was adapting. They were noisy and dangerous people. He cleaned the gun on the dinner table. But it was different with Elijah. Calm in the storm. Don't get used to it. This, Clara teased, picking it up. To wear on one side. As you once were. I am ready for service, I will return. Okay, whatever my job is now. Elias. He held his hand. His skin was rough, reinforced by pulling and tightening very quickly. Exit, but his touch was amazing. Calmly. He looked up, his hazel color. Seriously, close your eyes. You're part of the team. Now, Clara. Jackson believes. I believe it. He stopped, his thumb moved. And you saved my life. In me. The world, which creates debt it is not fully refundable. Clara, you don't owe anything. She whispered, her heartbeat quickening. I owe you. You are everything to me, he corrected her. Time was corrupted by evil. The iron door opens with rapid steps. Major Jackson Miller came in, his face looked like that. The sound of thunder. It had no sound of its own. Ordinary tactical weapons. He was in civilian weapons. Clothes, jeans and flannel shirts. But it still looks deadly. Leave it. Jackson said, though his voice was weak. The usual bite. We have a problem. Elias was immediately moved from one patient to another. Soldier. Sitrep. Jackson has a file on the small table. We know why you're busy, Elias. This was not a random attack on the cartel. It was a cleanup campaign. Elias took it. The file. The wings are big, Jackson. He said. He was pacing back and forth in the small room. I have decrypted the phone number you returned earlier. You drowned. There was no copper. A foreigner. The buyer was an illegal person. A company registered in Delaware. Clara. He listened, confused. What's wrong with this? What about the hospital? Is Jackson back? For him. Everything. Shell company. It goes back to a real estate company, and the main shareholder of that company Blind Faith run by Caldwell family. Clara's blood is cold. Like Caldwell. You Senators Caldwell, Baba I a VIP with a wrist injury. Either way, Jackson shook his head angrily. Senator Richard Caldwell is not alone. Politician. He arms himself quietly. Military-grade weapons for rebels. It creates instability in oil-rich regions. Investments. Elias found the evidence. That's why they tried to kill him. Elijah left his field before he died. He said, his voice dropping to a dangerous level. I groaned. Follow me to Mercy, General. That's right, Jackson said. I received a phone call an hour ago. Patricia Gower didn't fire you just because she was fired. Clara was little. She was there too. Salaries. She has the senator's salary list. John Donne's connection to Elijah. The statement was horribly put together. Why was Ethan Caldwell there? He wasn't. He had a wrist injury there. He was there to confirm the murder. Clara felt nauseous. The pride of youth. The silk dress suddenly took on meaning. But he didn't think so. He was a spoiled child. The eagle is circling the corpse. So Clara said they exposed them. For FBI files. We can't, Jackson said. The director's FBI house Padarkante of Caldwell's tonight, wealth. Corruption is disappearing. Deep. If we give up now, the evidence is gone and we all die together. Tragic accident during training. So what should we do? Elijah asked, standing up. Up. He fell, but he stood up straight. We're going. Jackson spoke about the attack. We are going to Caldwell Estate tonight. A physical server must be provided, that it connects the senator to the company of concern. It's in his private library. I'm going, Elijah immediately said. The nurse, Clara, intervened and approved the cleaning. The voice penetrates through testosterone. Your stitches are rarely held. To reopen that artery, it will disappear in a few minutes. I don't need it. Elias argued about owning a bakery. I know I have to drive. I can monitor. No, Jackson. Elijah said, stay here. It's too dangerous. If Caldwell knows we're coming, we will beat you with everything we have, Elijah. The main witness. He must be. Survival. Jackson looked at Clara. You stay too. With him. This place is safe, but I'll leave 2 people around. Maybe. I'm not a nanny, Elijah grumbled. You are the treasure, Jackson said firmly. Clara, wait. Lower it. Shock him if you have to. Jackson. Grab your gear bag. We'll be leaving in 10 hours. Just like the team, they closed the doors behind us. Operators dressed in black loaded into SUVs. Clara felt a sharp sting outside the house. A feeling of fear. She felt the weight. Iron door. The silence of the bunker. The safe house is back, but this time I didn't feel at peace. I felt that way. Holding your breath before shouting. The night was dark. The wind was blowing outside. Elijah was cleaning his gun. Pieces, N. Sig Sauer P320. He moved with a strong and painful grace. A Mendonça se do tia Dolan. Clara, he asked, breaking the silence. She was making tea, trying to hold my hand. Jackson is the best out there. But, Elias said without raising his head. Caldwell is desperate. Desperate men. Dangerous. Suddenly the lights in the bunker. He trembled and died. The ventilation system is closed. The room completely immersed in darkness. Power, falling. Clara stood up in a whisper. No, Elijah's voice was beside her. In the darkness. He moved immediately, quietly. The generator has backup. It's time to start. The lines were, wait. Clara heard a distinct click. A gun salute is gathering. Take it. Leave it, Elias whispered. Now he stopped. Clara fell to the cold concrete. Elijah, stay behind the kitchen island. Order. Don't move until I say so. The sound of the wind could be heard from outside. It has been replaced by something else. The sound of footsteps, the heavy sound of shoes. No. 2 people, many men. Perimeter guards, Clara whispered. Elias remained silent. They are gone. A voice has grown louder. Through a megaphone that passes through gravity, an iron door. It was a soft and proud door. Voice. The voice that Clara recognized. Captain Miller, Miss Evans, we know. Knew. My name is Ethan Caldwell. You have something of mine. Family. Clara's heart was beating fast. On her ribs. VIP. Boy. Open the door. Ethan shouted, his voice breaking. Cruel joy. Not Dr. Trent. This time it's here to save, and nothing, he is your brother. Elijah sat down next to him. Clara. In the moonlight of the filter. Through high ventilation boards, his face was a stone mask. He saw it. Elijah whispered in the house. They waited for him. Jackson to leave. It's a trap. What? Is that so? Clara asked nervously. Elijah put the gun in his hand. Do you know how to use it? I have one. A Glock at the shooting range years ago. Period. Elias also has a press. He said, I'm leaving. Draw the fire. You cover the back. Introduction, you can't fight them alone. You are hurt. I'm not alone, Elijah said, looking up. She. I have the nurse. Then a deafening roar shook him. The foundation of the building. The front door. He complained when complaints of violations arose. The smoke cleared. The siege began. The bunker door exploded from the inside. It was distorted. Steel creaking on concrete. A flash of fear blinded them and drove them inside. Clara's ears are like deadly nails. Elias shot 3 times in a row, 2 of them hit. Mercenaries in smoke, but groaned when you open the new seams. She growled. We can't catch them. Elijah shouted and pulled out another gun. In Clara's trembling hands. It faded quickly. Clara saw an oxygen tank. And a bottle of alcohol on top of it, medical cart. She threw them together in despair. Together, this creates a raw bomb. He threw it in the wind. Shoot. Elias did not hesitate. Bullet. He hit the tank. A huge ball of fire. It exploded, including mercenaries. It shakes the foundation. Elijah, move. They ordered. Emergency exit during the rainy season, they arrived, sliding through the mud. Before Elijah fell, the tree, his energy was gone. Clara, go, he said. No, she said, pulling him towards her, refusing. I will not neglect patience. Papritma's Ethan Caldwell eye shadows. Standard suppressed pistol on Elijah's head. He wore no armor, just an expensive coat. Hero. The nurse and the broken soldier. Ethan, he joked. My father sends his regards. He pressed his finger firmly on the trident. Clara stepped forward. Elijah, who is guarding her body, and she raised her gun. You have to pass. Me. Ethan laughed cruelly. Happy. Chris. A shot rang out. Clara stepped back. We are waiting for darkness, but it does not come. Ethan looked down from his side. The red flower that spreads over it, he sat quietly on his chest. Mud. Clara is back. On the ridge. Jackson Miller took down the sniper above. The gunman, accompanied by dozens of FBI agents, had flooded the valley. Clara fell in. Elias held her tightly, the knights came. They won. This is the story of Clara Evans, the nurse who refused to let a hero die, and as a result, she became a hero herself. It reminds us that sometimes it's very brave. Warriors don't carry weapons. They carry stethoscope and unwillingness to retreat facing injustice. Clara is defeated. Her job, her home, and her name. But she never loses her loyalty. She finally found love and purpose. This story is worth fighting for. It touched your heart, or made your heartbeat beat. Contestants, please hit the like button. It will definitely help the channel grow. Will you help it? I think he would have had courage. I oppose the hospital administration. How did Clara do it? Let me know. Comment below. And if you want more stories about true heroes, justice, and dating, make sure you register and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. I missed the video. Thank you for watching.